Is that one of my painting drop cloths?
Oh, man.
What are you doing? It's the weekend. You're supposed to be relaxing.
I'm about to get dirty.
Shouldn't you be like waiting till the shade comes, or?
Oh, it's coming. Look, it's creeping. It's creeping in. It won't take that long. I'm gonna start taking some seed heads off and cleaning this up. It's really sad looking. So, yeah. It's just gonna make me feel better to do it.
So is this like August maintenance?
Yeah.
This is what you normally do, or?
No, August last year was beautiful. This year, like all the heat and lack of water, everything is just, I feel like everything is just kind of fading faster. There's no really good color, really. Got some things out there that are just starting, but you know what? It's fading. It's fading early. I'm a little disappointed, but you know, can't have great seasons every season.
Yeah, it kind of feels like the work's about to begin.
Yeah, we're gonna. Ugh. I could sit here for like 20 minutes and try to figure out what exactly I'm gonna start, but I gotta just dive in. So there's weeds, seeds, and cutbacks and dog fights.
Yeah, we got a dog fight going on. I'm putting 10 on the pug. Hey, that's an illegal move right there.
Hey,
Hey, leave it.
Zoe Zoo, come.
I always like to act up when we start filming.
Yeah. So these guys are done. I can actually see the seeds in the cone already. Hey, Zoe, be nice.
Stop showing off over there.
Jax is trying to steal her toy.
Well, I noticed you didn't buy Jax a toy.
Jax doesn't play with toys. He's lazy.
It looks like he wanted to play with a toy this morning.
He only wants to play when Zoe wants it. So these are good and ready.
It's usually how it works.
They don't get any darker than that. So what I have to do though, with this fancy seed collecting tactic I have, I got to remember to write them down. Not that it matters too much, but...
So what's with the tarp down here? This is for you to just...
I'm about to fill it so you can drag it.
You're going to be like a Tasmanian devil and just go spinning around in this garden and start throwing everything out?
You know what? I wish I could do it fast, but it looks like it's hot, one. Two, it looks like I have a little bit of sorting out to do. I might actually cut back some daylilies to about 6 inches because, I don't know, I think it's going to neaten it up. It looks bleh. So as long as the dogs don't knock that over, we'll have some seeds. Now what? And the deer, oh, the dang deer, ate the buds off my carding mill, like the upcoming flush. It ate the buds. I have some left and some are like done. And it's got black spot and, you know, there. I was hoping to just see one last burst of color, which I am. Look, I appreciate this beauty. I mean, look at that. Is that not gorgeous? It's gorgeous. And you know what? I'm going to spray these tonight because there's 5 of them. And when they open, maybe I'll have an actual cane of roses like I should. I don't know. But, ugh, there's so much in there.
Where to end?
Where to start? By the way, where to start? Make sure you sanitize your stuff. I'm using Lysol wipes right now because I have them. Normally I just use alcohol and cotton balls. But for now, that will stop you transferring diseases from one plant to another or spores, that kind of thing. So it's a good idea to do it. Do I always do it? No. But if you remember and you can do it, you will save yourself some headache. Wow. Got some seed pods on the lupins. See, this is what I mean. Ugh. What do I want to do?
Like, what do you know for sure needs to be done?
These. Well,
that's kind of obvious.
I don't know. What I know needs to be done is you need to grab a pair of clippers instead of a camera and get your butt over here and start helping me.
Yeah, but then
You're gonna learn. You want to learn? You think you learned a lot this year?
we won't be able to document it though.
Oh, that's not true. Don't you have a tripod?
Well, it's hard to do two things at once.
It's hard to
really
come up
is.
with a real good rebuttal for that one. All right, that's that.
It's
There.
Sunday.
I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
But see, there's going to be lots of this stuff. That's what makes your gardens look like they're dying back. You got to get rid of that stuff, and it's tedious.
So
And
this is
again-
actually a part of gardening that you really don't like.
I don't mind it. It's annoying because you've turned the corner on the season, so nobody wants to, nobody wants to cut back. That means fall is coming and winter and all those things that you don't like. So that's what I don't like about it. Oh, look at that. Those pulled right out. Those are ready. Those have been ready for a while. Cool. And then you got to be careful that if you made pods, these actually were pods that were made by bees or pollinators. I didn't make these because there's no tag on them. Or if I did make them, I forgot to tag them. So if you're saving them, make sure you're not cutting the stalks off until they're ready, because that would defeat the purpose. All right. See, this looks better already. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually take this. So if you come around this side, this is sort of starting to like hang over the edge. See this? And the foliage is pretty healthy, but I'm going to bunch it up and I'm going to give it a haircut, like right to the edge here. And it's just going to like neaten it up along the edge. So this I'll leave, but if it's hanging over, that's what I want to clean up. I just want to make it a little bit neater.
So that doesn't do any damage.
No. I mean, you have less, you have less greenery absorbing the sun, but at this point, it's done what it's really going to do, especially in these conditions. Woo. I'm probably going to help it out by not making it, try to feed the foliage in the drought. I keep calling it a drought. We have gotten some rain, a little bit, but boy, we had some rough patches this year, didn't we?
Very dry. It was good for me because as a painter, I didn't have many rain days.
Yes,
this year.
actually, when Brian is happy during the summer, I'm usually not very happy because we both wish for opposite things. Although last year was a pretty rainy season, so
It's been too darn hot though.
yeah, rough.
Not really happy about that.
Nope.
And that's why I really should probably relax this weekend.
You should. You should just film me and grab a beer.
That sounds like a great idea, and learn things.
Oh.
I love watching you work.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure you do. Oh look! Oh, this is fun. I almost just yanked this off for no reason. Look. So this is a scape that had no pods on it, but look at what I found. It has a proliferation on it. There's actually a plant growing there. So that's exciting. I'm gonna leave it. And I have marked what that is so I can remember.
And what is that going to do this year? Just
I'm
kind
gonna
of.
plant it. It's a new plant. So I'm gonna plant it. Do I take the annuals out? Because I know they're coming out. Do I do that? I don't know.
Well, if they're done showing color, I'd take them out.
They're not.
Well, then I'd leave them in.
Ah,
Whatever's less work for you.
right now,
Yeah.
honestly, I'd like to just get it done, but I fear that I will not have any color if I do that. So, I don't know. Whew. I'm tired already. See, like this. Getting top heavy. Double martini. Getting top heavy. I need to get those little half moon steaks. Somebody said, oh, it's all the rain makes them flop and the fertilizer, but this didn't get either this year and it's still floppy. I think it's just top heavy, to be honest. That's fine though.
Looks like a lot of weight to be holding up.
Yeah, they are a little heavy. Like this. little dahlias. Like little miniature dahlias. I'm not saving those. I wasn't really too thrilled with that. I did that as a filler. It was like a dahlia mix, little mini dahlias, but I didn't really like those. So now I'm just like literally taking all of the little weeds that found their way in, cleaning up, and I don't know.
And making a
I'm
mess.
gonna give this a haircut, I think, because it's over the rocks. Kind of crispy. I like when I can see the rock. See, that just cleans that right up right there.
So this is pretty much it though. You won't have to do much with this garden after you're done today, right?
After I'm done today? Oh yeah, still, I got a lot of cutbacks to do in this. This is cleanup. I wouldn't even call it cutbacks. This is kind of cleanup. This is that late summer drab looking cleanup that kind of gives you a little refresher. You know, like this guy, I feel like he's hanging over the edge. These guys are looking for sun. So I gotta kind of start putting all the plants back in their place. So I'm gonna give this a haircut.
Now, are there certain plants, perennials, that you can't do what you're doing right now to?
Yes.
Like just take a pair of scissors to it and start clipping away?
There's ones that you're not gonna want to do that to, for sure. Those, allium, you don't want to do it to allium right now, the late summer allium. Your sedums, you know, the ones that still have the blooms on them, or if they're still gathering energy for the next season, like the tree lilies or the Asiatic lilies, you don't want to cut those back because they're still absorbing energy. You'll take away your bloom. You also don't want to cut back any spring bloomers like your tree peonies or your regelia, you know, that kind of thing. And the lilacs, you know, you have to definitely know when the bloom time is and when the plant or the shrub makes its buds for the following year. If it blooms on new wood, you can cut it back. If it blooms on old wood, that means that it has already made buds for the next year by this time. So you have to know that. You have to know when the bud cycle is.
So is there a trimming manual for dummies? Is there a place people can go to figure it out?
Yeah, I mean, you can Google it. The problem is, like, if it says, oh, blooms on old wood, that should be your cue to say, okay, I cannot prune that until after it blooms. Usually, if it says blooms on old wood, you will prune it right after blooming, because otherwise you'll take the buds off if you don't. So most of the time it blooms on old wood, you prune after it flowers, right after it flowers. If it's on new wood, you can prune it pretty much any time. Like hydrangeas that bloom on new wood, those little quick fires over there, those bloom on new wood. I can trim those and cut those back and clean them up anytime I want to, because I'm not going to affect the bloom for next year. So, man, I got some crabgrass everywhere. And the problem is it's got the little seed heads on it already, so I'm sure I just am dropping some seed as I'm going here. But anyway, look at that. See, isn't that just nicer? Nothing's hanging over the edge. You got to clean that up. Then it makes me feel better about the garden.
It does. You get to see like you're rewarded after sweating for a couple hours. You get to see some results of some sort.
And I have not really, I haven't done much since the July tour. So this is kind of like,
Oh, quiet.
This is neglect, really. I haven't really gone through and done much with this. So I have to, you know, the longer you wait in between weeding and cutting and deadheading, the longer you're gonna do it when you do. At least here, that's how it works. So,
I wouldn't have noticed. It looked good to me.
What?
The gardens.
You always say it looks good so that you don't have to help me do it. Admit it.
Well, I do help you.
Not with this.
I even did my own last week.
Did you? Oh, look it. So this is definitely. See these? This is hosta. Those hosta flowering stems. These are all done. These you can cut back. There's nothing good going on there. I don't even like them when they're flowering. We got some peaches and cream starting to strangle my tomato plants. Get back on that arbor. This did really well though this year. She's a maniac.
That's it, Cleo. It's Cleo's bark that's doing
Look
the
at
damage.
this. Like, what do I do with this? Half of me wants to just cut it, and half of me says, hey, there's tomatoes on it.
Maybe you could offer it to the chipmunks as a peace
No,
offering.
they're jerks.
Well,
Don't get me going on those damn chipmunks. There. I raised them, so all you have to do is walk along the fence and grab them now. Zoe found something she don't like.
she's always finding something she doesn't like.
So I'm gonna leave those for now. Ugh. I actually found a weed that's dehydrated. Woo! That hardly ever happens. But man, it was a good year for clover. Dry, it does not care. Clover will grow with no water. Wow. I'm waiting for a snake to come out. So this is it. This is exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, this isn't really the glamorous part of gardening.
No.
You know, this
No,
is
it is
more
not.
of a behind the scenes. This is more of where you're reenacting what I normally do. And that's keep your gardens neat and clean. For the summer, because the heat is mean.
I'm
Do
surprised
not
you
hit
didn't
me.
holler at me. I actually intentionally tried to throw those at you and you didn't even mention it.
Well, because I can't see.
Oh, is that why?
Yes.
Let's see. I can see. What is she after? Come on, Zoe! She comes back like, oh, did I do a good job?
You just pretend that you're like the other dogs. Oh, Jax, you're the best, buddy. And then she'll come running because she'll think somebody's actually being pet besides
She gets jealous.
herself.
I know, she gets jealous.
Yes, she does. She's a
Whoa.
little invasive.
You talk about invasive. Look at this thing. Whoop! Not dropping seeds from that thing. Oh, no buds here.
This is where you need to have your nieces come up here and help you.
Oh, I will tomorrow. She'll be out here. She don't know it yet, but she'll be out here. Listen to her. All right, look, I'm deadheading some ugly pink.
So now,
So I just collected seed heads from this. It's the same plant. So I'm gonna take off some of these like crappier looking ones because there are bright ones down here. So if I clean these up, maybe the side buds will come out. You know, you have to decide. I do leave most of mine, but this section looks terrible. So I'm gonna clean it up.
So you're gonna throw all these in a Ziploc bag?
Yes.
All the
well,
heads?
I have to get them out first, separate them, dry them, and then they go in a Ziploc. So
And then you do like the shake and bake with it?
Shake and bake. Oh, remember we did that last year? We put all the seed heads in a coffee can with a lid and we shook them and all the seeds came out instead of hurting your fingers trying to get those little spiny heads off.
Now, could you do that
look
and
at
then
this.
just like walk in a field and shake them out in a field and make like wildflowers?
Yes,
Or
yes, you could just leave them on the flower and they'll drop and grow new ones, or you can collect them and drop them wherever you want if you want them to sort of take over.
I actually threw a bunch of conehead flowers over by that pine tree and they never took.
Conehead?
Oh, well,
Conehead flowers, that's funny.
cone flowers,
I know what you meant. Yeah.
Well, bonehead, conehead, I got
Yeah.
confused because nothing came out.
The bonehead through the cone heads.
Yes.
Nothing
Hey,
happened.
speaking of boneheads, button it, bud. Nobody wants to hear it.
My big Zoe.
Barking at your own shadow over there.
What is this? Like this is all. Ooh. All right. That's good. Okay, good job. Be done.
All right, you're a good watchdog. Thank you. See? Words of encouragement.
You know. All right.
So are you going to throw all them together, or are you going to separate them by...
Am I going to throw what together?
all those flower heads right there?
Those don't have seeds in them yet. I'm deadheading. There's a difference. Those are ready. They have seeds in them. These I'm just deadheading to clean it up so they're not sloppy and falling over other plants. There's a difference.
So if you want seeds, you have to wait longer before you deadhead.
If you want seeds, you wait till they're black like that. Like the ones that I just picked on the paper plate. Weren't you paying attention?
You know, you should know by now that I really don't.
Here, I want you to pick the seeds out of these and let me know when you're done.
Yeah, right?
All right, what else?
I enjoyed picking them last year. It was fun.
Oh, it's shady in this over here now.
I actually like sweating and doing hard work, believe it or not. I just don't do it that often.
I'll trade you then.
Well, you don't want to do something too much because then you won't enjoy it.
I just want to say I like it.
Well,
not do it.
Come on, you know that you couldn't possibly do all of this alone.
No, I can't, but...
It's your handsome Hercules look-alike husband who comes and becomes your hero.
Talking like that, you ain't.
What do you mean?
Hercules.
Hey, dog! See, the dog's afraid. I think the dog's barking at me because I got a muscle shirt on today.
Yeah, she just don't know who you are.
Hey, totally different man.
I'm going back. Oh, this is nice over here. See, like this right here. This annual is really happy, which is great, but it also wants to like infringe upon my Wagilian stuff, so I have to... It's so happy. It's like the only color I have. Maybe I'll just take it half out.
So wouldn't you want to dig that out by the root? Because wouldn't it just keep growing? Like you can cut it.
Yeah, but I want to keep some of it back here, but I want to cut like in here. There's actually two of them. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm cutting these stems because, oh, more crabgrass. See, now it's in its own lane. I did nothing to disturb the roots on it. Is there seeds in here? No. And the Wagelia, now look at this. The rebloomer, it does rebloom. I can't believe it.
You didn't even think about that. You just went in there and yanked it.
Well, that's because I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, well, it's kind of hard to film you when you're down there low.
I know, you might have to bend over.
Well.
And it might feel like work. I get it.
I
get it.
It does hurt the lower back. And I can't kneel down. Sorry. I got bumps under my knees.
I can't even tell. Why?
I don't know, from trying to split wood the other day.
Oh, God.
Misjudged.
So it split you?
Well, I stepped on a branch and then it...
Talk about misjudging. I mean, not that I care
kicked me back.
Are you done with your story?
Yeah.
Talk about misjudging. So this is like, it looks like this little clump of daylilies. This is Heavenly Flight of Angels, which was beautiful and yellow. First year for this, it was new. And then look, you would never know unless you're down here that crabgrass is in the middle of this. Isn't that terrible? Like if I come, the only time you can really weed well is when you get in here and you're like, oh, that's not even the plant. It's a weed because it looks alike. They're very good imposters.
It's almost like picking gray hairs.
Oh man, I got some of those.
I didn't say anything.
What? Excuse you.
What?
You're gonna pay for me to get rid of them.
Oh, really? You don't have gray hair, honey.
Oh my God, I do. Are you
kidding? What do you have to worry about?
You know what? You can't see. Maybe you are getting old.
Well.
You can't see. But that's good for me.
I have gray hair. It's just that I'm bald. You can't tell.
Buck. Yeah, young buck. You still think I'm a young buck. That's good. Ooh.
No, I think you're a young doe.
Oh, young doe, right. Well, you know the
I'm the buck.
You're the buck?
Yeah, the 12-pointer.
Oh, really? You and your 12 points.
Well, all you spike horns can sit down out there.
Oh, boy. All right, so this edge is good.
Boy, it's so much better to film you in the shade. Like, it seems like it's actually less work for me.
Well, I'm glad. Good job.
I can see the screen.
Wait till we get over in front of that vegetable garden. I'm gonna pull all those basils out.
So is that what you do? You just kind of start in one spot and then just work your way around?
Yes, I'm cleaning up. So these were little mini purples, and they should be going where the other ones. There's angels in Wisconsin in the front there. Those have to come back here because I need them taller. And this little short purple one is going to go in the front. So I'm going to swap those out. That was a note. You know, I did this garden last year, right? I planted it up and I got lost as to what I planted and what daylilies were what. So I knew that something was going to happen where I had to sort of, you know, figure out height-wise and who was who and color-wise. But this was a dark purple and it's short. So I have to put it in the front. It belongs in the front where the other one is. So.
Now, is there a perfect time to do that, or can you do it whenever you seem fit or feel like doing it?
I'm going to do it when the pods are done, because then I can cut them back and swap them out without too much trouble. This did really well. This was my my 50% off find because it looked terrible. It was this like tiny little decrepit thing in a nursery pot, and now look at it. It's gorgeous. I love you. I love it. It's starting to get those pinky things.
Yeah, but how many bargain bin, you know, success stories do you have?
Quite a few. The thing is, I will only buy the bargain bin if I know I can do something with it. Like, you know that that's not dead. It just it needed to be cut back pretty hard. And then you know it's going to come back. Like hydrangeas are, especially those, are going to do well. We know they do well here, so. Obedient plants, I'm definitely taking the seeds off that. Don't want it to take over. And that's it, really. That's that side. Ugh. This is still growing. I'm happy.
Maybe you should start weeding this over here. What is happening, honey?
Oh man,
this looks like plant neglect right here.
Huh? Honestly, a lot of this needs to be just composted. I do have some sunflowers that could go in my vegetable garden. That's probably the next thing that I'll tackle.
What are you going to do with all those? Are those just leftover plants?
They're going to go, well, so I had some things that bloomed that I didn't really particularly care for. So I will probably swap out those until I see what they are. I haven't seen those bloom yet. So that's, if I saw ones that bloomed that I wasn't totally wowed by, or that I have a lot of the similar colors of, then I'll probably take those out and put the seedlings in until they bloom and I can assess the same thing. So I would love to have a little space to grow seedlings so I don't have to put them in and take them out. But I have to be patient for that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Something that you have a very hard time doing.
No, I just know what I want, and yes, I have to wait.
Yes.
I have to learn to be patient.
Exactly.
But if I have a plan and I know what I want, it's hard not to go after it. You know, kind of like when I met you.
Oh, yes.
I had a plan, didn't I?
Yeah. Plan C.
Plan C, yeah. All right, so this is a little cleaned up. I'm happy with this progress.
Watch out. We don't want to show the plumber's crack over here.
Oh, yeah? I got the plumber's crack?
Yeah.
It ain't going to be any worse than yours.
I bet it would. I bet it would be.
Why?
Because I have a nice little tan there, a little farmer's tan.
I'm glowing in the dark?
Yeah. I actually have a tractor tramp stamp under my back.
You do not.
I do.
What are you talking about? A tractor tramp. What the hell is that?
That's the country boy tattoo, baby. All right, it's not on there yet, but I am in discussions with my buddy. Would you like me with a tattoo?
Oh, yeah? You gonna get matching tattoos with your buddy?
Well, I was thinking you're so into color. Maybe I'll add a little color to my body. What do you think?
I think you can see how that works out for you.
Come on.
Yeah, I have color all over mine, don't I?
Well, if I'm on the beach and I have blooms on my back, You might actually rub some sun lotion on me.
I would
right?
not.
You wouldn't?
I would definitely not.
Yeah, but the buds would burn. You know what I mean?
The bud would burn. Now you're just ridiculous.
Well, I am rambling on a little bit because
you're bored. Grab some scissors. Get unbored.
I can't. I'm still sore from riding a bicycle. She made me ride a bicycle, ladies and gentlemen. Haven't ridden one in 20 years. I couldn't even work. I had to call in sick. A weekend of riding bikes and I couldn't sit down, let alone try to climb a ladder. So get off my back because my butt hurts.
You could just have your own show. Look at that.
Well,
Look, it's feeling good though.
it does look great. It looks beautiful. So that's pretty much it. It looks like you need some mulch in here.
Yeah, I do.
So we discovered the other day we didn't have a termite problem. We had carpenter ants. And what happened is we had a heavy rain, so they all had to come out and breathe. And breed, I think, too, as well. It looked pretty wild what we had going on over there. So you have to do this to like an acre's worth of gardens.
Yeah, feel free to jump in.
Why do you keep saying that? You don't have to. No, I think this is more beneficial because
I mean, you're not going to sit here and yap while I do every single garden, are you?
No, I'm trying to let the viewers know that they're not alone. See? This happens. A lot of women out there don't have helpful husbands like you do.
Maybe you should show them how helpful you are.
I will. Eventually, you know, I'm going to have to help you at some point.
When it's almost done.
Watch out for that snapping turtle. That was the only gift I gave you for the gardens this year.
That's all right. You can buy me a greenhouse. Don't worry.
You know, you did pretty good, honey. I will give you that. You didn't spend that much money this year on the gardens. Really? Oh, you did. Oh, man.
I'm proud of you for noticing.
Do I have to start really checking or not?
Yes. Yes, you do. Because if you're going to make comments like that, how am I going to keep a straight face?
Well, because it just, I don't know. It just seemed like you...
Honestly, I did not. I was very well behaved. I don't even think I went to a nursery that often. We were supposed to film some nursery tours. Can't even do that. And that didn't go. I think the tour actually kept me grounded.
I should probably quit my job and just follow you around when you're working for your clients and we'll film you doing other people's projects. What do you think?
I think that sounds horrible.
Why?
Because then I have to deal with you all day and night.
Well, I'll be quiet on other people's property.
You will not.
Yes, I will.
You will not.
So do you have to spray any fertilizer down or do anything like that?
No fertilizer. It's too late. These are all starting to die back, which is what you want. You fertilize it and you promote new growth, you got a problem when the cold comes. Whoa.
So are we going to have like a rebirth of this garden now that you kind of thinned it out a little bit? Could it...
Not really, but it will make me feel better. It will clean it up. It'll help me manage the weeds a little better.
You're making an awful big divot there.
Yeah, that was a whole plant that was like growing out. So.
Yeah, and it makes it hard to cut the lawn.
Why?
Because my push mower, you think that divot's big. Wait till you see the one that gets thrown into your sun garden over there.
What are you talking about?
It's the edging is too deep, so when I come, the blade kind of cuts the grass and throws it all over the place. So that's all. Just don't make it so deep.
I'm not making it deep. I'm not doing anything. I'm just pulling out the weed.
Well, maybe you can mow once.
Can I get you some water? You tired from talking? Your mouth dry? Can I get you
Actually,
anything?
I am
How
a
about
little
a chair?
parched.
Would you like a chair?
No, you're moving pretty quick. I don't think I could sit down and film this. But it definitely is enlightening to learn all this. Because when I'm doing it, I don't really pay attention.
It's enlightening for you. Are you taking notes?
Well, nobody has ever really seen it because I'm always doing it.
And your nose is growing.
Well,
You don't do this part. I do this part. You help me with spring, yes. Don't you try to take credit for all this. It ain't happening. All right,
well,
I'm
we
pretty
usually
much
have
done.
a big party
Look,
for Halloween.
This is why I
so-
can't take out the annuals altogether. Look, the little bees on there.
It's going to start getting cold at night there, buddy.
I know, it's so sad. Like that bee balm, I could go tackle that. Ugh, I don't want to tackle that. But anyway, so this is at least cleaned up, and it doesn't really look that much better, but the edge looks better. Like nothing is flopping over. It definitely needs help, but that's like what? How long did that take?
Felt like an hour at least.
Yeah, sure.
Felt
No.
like an eternity.
It definitely was not an hour, but this is but yeah, it takes a little bit. So there's my Kismet raspberry, and there's gonna be a ton of seeds in there.
So then you kind of throw that into a 2-gallon Ziploc, and then it kind of sits around for a
little
while.
sandwich baggie, and I'll collect some more, and I cleaned up some, so I'll just go around like the white ones over there. Have some that are ready. Yeah. So.
Well, I think it's time for me to get my gloves on and help you start working.
Yeah.
Now that we're in the shade,
You can make,
right?
yeah, you can make dinner and everything too if you'd like.
Well,
Actually, you can grab a rake.
I'll be more than happy to help you as long as the sun isn't beating down on me.
Poor things. Look, they just want to bloom. And that one's done.
These are actually coming along from where they were last year. This garden still isn't
okay,
even
these
up.
were put in the spring.
They were?
Yeah.
Well, then they're not coming along.
Well, they are. They're getting taller, but I'm gonna.
And what happened
back
to
a
the
little
ones
bit.
you put in last year? They're coming along, aren't they? That
not
one
really.
right there?
That one is definitely coming along, and it had buds that were coming along until the deer decided to yap them off.
I wonder what a rose tastes like.
You could roast it. People actually use, like, I've had a pear and rose water muffin. It's gross.
What about a gold stem rose? Can you grow those? Do you know what they are?
I know that if my rose stem is gold, it's going to be dying or something.
So you would never want a gold stem rose, would you?
No.
That's great.
Especially from you.
I wouldn't-
You would do gold plated.
No.
Who are you kidding?
No, there's
Yeah.
a jeweler that does gold stem roses, and hey, you know, your birthday is coming up.
No, that is terrible.
Thought you might like a little surprise.
No, I would not.
What do you-
would
what do
get
you
a
want?
surprise right back from me if you bought that.
What do you want for your birthday this year?
I'd like a greenhouse next year.
Oof.
You asked me.
You're going to have to do more than blow out them candles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. How many are we going to have this year? Far too many for one breath, huh?
I think so. What's she doing? I'm cleaning up, bud. Time.
Well, I will draw you a picture of a greenhouse and promise you that in the future you will get a greenhouse. But yeah, it might be a year or two. If it was up to me, you'd have it tomorrow.
Ew.
But we want the best, right?
It smells.
What's that?
This smells.
What is it?
Basil, but it don't smell like basil. It just had, oh, I don't know what it smells like. It's got a weird smell to it.
You have a plant that kind of smells like pea, don't you? What is that?
Salvia.
Ah,
Smell this. Smell it.
you can't smell dirt.
Well,
I'm going to smell it for 2 days
dude,
now.
I can smell it from here.
Ah,
I'm not going to stick it up your nose.
you just stuck a root right up my friggin' nostril.
Ugh. And you still couldn't smell it.
Oh, I smell it.
Oh, shoot.
But it might be the last thing I ever smell. I think I got some
Zoe?
blockage.
Look, she thinks there's something on that paper plate for her. Oh, this needs to be cut back.
Having a hard time talking.
Well, good. Maybe you should shut up.
Look at that, though. You got a lot done right there in about 2 seconds.
That's because the plants were huge. Whew.
So were they done, or you're just kind of done with them?
I'm done with them. I mean, I could collect seeds, but I don't know if I'd grow them again. It was great. The deer didn't eat them. They filled in, which is what I wanted, but there was no color at all. So I got better options than that.
Now, you pulled them right out of the ground, which means they're not coming back next year.
They're annuals.
Oh, those were annuals?
That's what I just said. Yes, they're
Well,
annuals.
You say too many words per minute. It's hard to really comprehend any of them. Get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yes.
Joe Pie, man. I might have to take him out of there. Oh, look. A ladybug. Oh, bye-bye, ladybug.
That's Joe Pie right there?
This is Joe Pie weed. And that's a dwarf one. The real, original Joe Pie weed is like 7 feet. It's like that. It's huge.
How long has that Joe Pie been over there?
3 years it is. Yeah, last year was the second year, I believe. I don't know. I honestly can't remember. I do remember. Last year it was really short. Did I plant it last year? I don't know. This year, this could be the 3rd year leap for all I know.
Now, if you cut it down, you could keep that short, right? Because it kind of looks cool, but it looks like it's getting to a point where it would affect your roses growing on.
Yes, and look. Can you believe this? Look what happened. It's got a thin cane, but it's coming. It bloomed, actually. It had like 4 blooms on it. It's not dead, people. It's not dead. I am going to clean this up, though. See, this is what happens. You come in and you're like, oh, look, there's my little Roseanne geranium. There's my rose bush. Whew, bees don't want me to do that, though.
Yeah, but look, you really don't have a lot of weeds down there, and you're right. You know, if you can grow that garden in, it almost works as a canopy to stop the weeds from growing.
Wow.
See, I do listen occasionally.
You sound so smart.
When you repeat yourself. We have been making these videos for a couple years. Look at the strength.
Bringing out the big guns.
Yes, look at that. Maybe you should get a tattoo too.
No.
What do you think?
Look at this gnarly thing. Second bloom on the gnarly clown pants seedling that everybody was interested in.
What makes it gnarly?
Look at the teeth on it.
Now, did you breed this thing with anyone?
Yes, actually it's in process right now. But I don't have a lot of lilies open right now because it's August, so almost September.
So why are you yanking all them? It look good still.
Yeah, I gotta clean this up.
It just seems like there's, so that you're just doing that to annuals.
Yes.
You would never do that to a perennial.
I'm doing that
people.
to annuals that are like pretty much at the seed point, because who knows if they're gonna actually sprout. You know, some of the seeds already dropped in here. And I'm not going to plant them again. I'm also not saving that seed. So they weren't that wow to me. I don't know. They had their moment. Now it's like, it's ready. Now I can plan for something else in there.
Stay away from that summer garden. The sun garden. No, don't. I don't want to see you start ripping things out of there.
I might.
You need to slow down a little bit, I think.
Screaming cherries. Tell you what, that's gonna get like a better spot than this. That needs to like pow in the middle somewhere. I love that.
So who is Screaming Cherry hooking up with? Did you hook Screaming Cherry up with?
Yes, I hooked Screaming Cherry up with a few. They got around this year.
A lot of Screaming Cherries going on.
I didn't get a lot of pods off Screaming Cherries, but it was a good pollen parent. So when I took the pollen from screaming cherries and put it on other flowers, it took. So it's a very good pollen parent. My lupins have had it. I've had it. I'm done for like a little bit. I'm gonna go in and
I know, I'm exhausted just watching it.
having myself a sangria maybe.
I think I might be dehydrated.
Ooh.
Standing out here. What is that butterfly in the back there? Right behind you.
The Fritillaria.
Oh.
They do love the butterfly bush.
We don't ever really talk about this garden much.
This garden?
Yeah.
Sure I do. Sure I
Not
do.
really.
I have a few things to do with it.
What are the plans?
So this is coral craze. I'm gonna take some seed from it before the birds get it all. Wow, created a lot of seed. Seed.
So you're
seed.
not one to just go around and do seeds, get all the seeds and then be done. You just kind of like whatever the garden throws at you, you take it on all at once, right?
As far as what, seeds?
Oh, as far as work, because you
I'm
started
doing,
out.
I have priorities. Like when I look at that, I know that that's coming out. I know it needs to be cleaned up. I know it's just got issues. So I'm just tackling, like that's a small job. I knew that was like 6 plants and then I'd be done. And you know what? That's big progress for me. I might even plant beets in there.
It kind of does look better in a way.
Yeah.
Maybe you overplanted over there.
No. It did what I wanted. It filled in. That was bare in the beginning of the season. I'm like, what am I going to do there? And then I'm like, you know what? I'll put some nicotiana in there. I'll put some basil. And the basil took off. And the nicotiana was like dwarf plants and it didn't stand a chance. Oh no, did the dog get my marker?
Probably.
She's going to have a real...
Last time she did that, we had to bring her to the dog dentist. We thought she had a tartar buildup, but no, she just ate a brown marker instead.
Zoe? Did she take my marker?
I certainly didn't. So where do you dump all this stuff? I guess
You're going to dump it, so maybe you could ask yourself that.
so you don't have to worry about any of this stuff re-sprouting somewhere
Yeah, it
after
will.
you dump it.
You could.
All right.
You could take this basil stuff and go put it in. It could take off next year. Who knows? Darn it. Well, you got to remember that plate's coral craze.
Yeah. Sometimes gardening can be very difficult if you're not organized.
I am not organized at all. But thanks for pointing that out.
Well, I'm talking about
I know what you're talking
know.
about. Don't you worry.
myself. I've had problems before where I got into a project and didn't realize that I kept putting the tools that I needed elsewhere.
I had beautiful lavender there last year and it didn't come back. It's annoying. That's why I had to find something to put there. I'm going to do low zinnias next year so that they just keep blooming. I'm starting to like the annuals. The annuals are kind of okay.
Well, definitely, if you want a lot of color, you're going to have to incorporate annuals, right?
I mean, if you want a lot of late season color, yeah, dahlias, the zinnias. You know, hydrangeas are nice, but they're not, bright colors, which is what I like. So, like, the perennials are kind of now dying back and... What you looking for? I don't know where she is. Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, we found the dog and she didn't have your marker.
Festivus. Woo, baby. I love this daylily. And you know what? Can't really find it. The hybridizer, I bought it from the hybridizer on the lily auction. And I have yet to see it listed again. And you know what? It's pretty sad because it was a great introduction. I don't know why. It didn't get a lot of traffic. Sometimes when you get the pictures of the daylilies that are introduced, they look amazing and then you get them and you're like, okay, it's not as awesome as I thought it was going to be. This one was like totally opposite that. It was like one of the best purchases, and it was a surprise. Like I love the bloom. Every year it just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and it doesn't have a ton of blooms on one, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you know, 10, 11, 12 blooms when others get 35. But when it comes out, it's just amazing. It makes me smile. Ruby spider makes me smile. It also makes me smile that I can just bend over and pull these out without like getting down on the ground and doing it. Because that means I'm getting the whole stalk and I don't have to get back in there in a couple weeks to clean them up.
It does look like it was pretty easy to do that.
Well, when they're ready, yes.
And when you're not doing it yourself.
Sometimes they're still green on the bottom, so. What did you say?
Nothing. Boy, we're almost done with this episode, and I feel like I really, I learned so much. I'm tired. I think I learned so much that my mind is numb. What do you think?
I think your lips are numb.
They may be sore too.
And I have one pot. Weird Science and Ruby Spider. They made a baby. And another big pot over here. Who do we have here? This was a seedling. Oh, Weird Science on that one too. Cool. Now I have to decide what I'm gonna grow out of all the crosses I made.
So how many of your originals bloomed this year? I'm still kind of 2.
So far, well, the ones from last year that didn't bloom,
Yeah.
bloomed up on the hill.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be like bragging about it if it was a big deal or something? Like I don't recall.
I posted pictures of them.
Yeah, but
You know, it's not like they were, I don't know, it takes a lot to wow me. So if they bloom and they're just okay, or they look like other flowers I have, which is going to happen, you're breeding 2 flowers together that you already have. So
we won't.
if it's not going to be fabulous, you know, it's all right.
We won't be naming a lily this year.
You can name whatever you want. I actually love that one over there.
And that's yours, right?
Well, that's one that I purchased very expensively off the lily auction from the guy who owns Clown Pants. So, and it bloomed, and it's pretty awesome. So I'm excited about that. These do not have any seeds in them, so there's no point in keeping them. Lovely lolly. Definitely I might try to separate these.
How many different colors does that stuff come in? Because that was kind of my favorite this year.
What?
This flower you're cooking.
I've never seen a fully double. This is the only one that I've actually seen of this variety. I didn't even know it was an option. I found it at the some mascots, the ice cream, apple, fruit place, farm stand. Go figure. It was just sitting there. They have like a little bit of perennials just on the side, you know, usually very common perennials. And I was like, was it last year or a year before? I was like, oh, I've never seen this one before. And it looked horrible. It was like on its deathbed. But, you know, sometimes you got to take a chance. I'm also a sucker for plants that look terrible. And I feel bad for them and I want to help them. These are leaning over, and I know that they have flowers on them, but it's driving me crazy. So there, they're cleaned up.
Now, you're going to throw those in a bag, right?
No.
Why?
Those don't have seeds, and those
Oh,
aren't
again,
ready.
yes. Because you cut them too soon. Let them die. I want those for my garden.
You want what?
I want the seeds.
Okay.
I'm going to do my own little seed growing this winter.
Oh, yeah, you better get yourself some lights.
I'm gonna.
You're not going to use mine.
Yeah.
I got ideas, big ideas.
I'm gonna use my corner of the garage for once.
Your 2x2 corner? Okay.
Yeah.
You can do
I
that.
know. I'm like, I got a garage, and then in came the lights.
And the grow racks.
Yeah, and all the lights that were above my head just went out. No more ideas for the man cave garage. But this barn, I think I'm definitely gonna have some man cave stuff going on.
Well, it'll have to pass approval, so.
Now, have a nice little game room upstairs or something.
If it's approved.
Yeah, a man cove. What do you think?
If you have an indoor pool, you can have a cove.
You know, I think we're
Oh,
gonna
look at this.
skip the pool. That's just more work, and I don't need to be doing any more
Dried
work.
dog crap. And we wonder why this died back here.
So you think that died because dog crap was on it?
Yeah, I do.
No?
I would.
He is eating that low-fat dog food. It's probably no good for it.
It's not low fat, it's low calorie. Actually, yeah, I guess it is low fat.
Yeah.
Diet food.
Oh, I don't know about you, but I'm ready to call it a day. What do you think? We'll pick up on this tomorrow, maybe? After your nieces leave? And get it done for us?
Yeah. Let's see if you take all this. Look at
You need to leave them some work.
Yeah, I know. If I take off all these like little faded ones, it actually looks like it's got some bright color. See? It actually looks nicer now. I don't know.
And just like that, even that is looking sharp already.
Well, it's gonna get cleaned up.
Except you don't have a tarp.
No, but you do, and you got a rake.
Yeah.
Get on it.
All right, honey, thanks. Can't wait to help you.